This shit is big time!
You need to wipe down.
What's with the jeans?
Great, tonight.
I don't hate you.
Are you kidding me? This is like the worst thing I've ever done to anybody.
Yeah, but it makes things clearer. See, because now I know exactly what I have to do.
Yeah, what?
I'm gonna fuck your mom.
What?
Your mom and I, we're gonna have sex.
No, it's not funny.
No, it's not.
You're disgusting.
I'm gonna tell you said that.
I thought you were being cool about all this.
I am being cool about all this stuff. Oh,
No, go to hell, Nick.
It's good to be back.
Good to be back.
It's good to be back in your mom's house. Hi, mommy.
How have you been, man?
I've been good, dude. I haven't been here in a while because I got AIDS. I got really sick.
Oh yeah, you haven't been back since then, right?
No, man. I got so fucking sick.
Not only did you get sick, you got everybody.
I got everybody sick.
You started a tidal wave of sickness,
And it was actually the worst. Like you get colds and you get sinus infections or whatever. I think I get more than most people, even more than most comics, because we travel a lot and everything.
Yeah.
But that was like the worst one. That lasted 3 weeks, 3 full weeks.
And you were like in bed for a long period of time,
Dude,
too, right?
This is how bad it got. I showed up. I got sick in San Francisco, or actually right before. I did all those shows up there. I got Sam and Joe sick. And then I came back and I knew I was going to travel in a few days. Mm-hmm. And I should have just definitely, you have to listen to your body telling you stuff, but I always go like, no, it's fine. I'm just push through this.
Was it hard to go on stage that sick? Because there was a point where Joe said, you should just go home. And
he told me multiple times, but he did it like, if he had said go home, I guess I'd have been like, all right. But he was like, hey, it's okay if you want to take this off. And I always am like, I have that mentality of like, if somebody's saying it's okay if you don't want to do this, I'm like, no, they're testing me. Like they're just being like, if you want to be a bitch about it. So I was like, oh no, I'll push through it.
It seems like you had good sets though.
Yeah, the sets went well, but I was dying as I did them. And then, to the point where I couldn't hear, couldn't breathe out of my nose. At one point, I almost couldn't speak anymore. And then I came home. I saw a doctor right away. He was like, "You are fucked." I didn't say that, but he was like, "You're really sick. Like you should just rest." I got on a plane 2 days later, did a full weekend in Newport at the Funny Bone.
Whoa.
Came back home 2 days later, got on a plane and went to Hartford.
Oh my God.
And basically, I got back from Hartford and I was probably up to 85, 90% better. And then it was just, but it was a full 3 weeks. I'd never been that. It basically felt like I was about to, he thought I was on the line of getting like some type of bronchial infection or the flu or something,
Right.
Like it was just, I need to take better care of myself. I've started taking vitamins and drinking water.
It's fun. It's fun because I got a very mild strand of what you had.
You did?
Yeah, because
from Joe or
no, I think it was Sam probably because Sam came over right after you guys went on, and he was kind of sniffling, and then after he was like, "Yeah, I'm sick," and I'm like, "What?" And my girlfriend got it bad. She
did?
Yeah, she was like not as bad as you, I guess, but she was in bed for like 3 days, 4 days, and then she still had it for like 2 weeks or something. And then I got like a mild version of it where I was fine, but I still felt like I had something. Like I was really tired.
Yeah, and it was bad.
Yeah,
it was the first time I've ever canceled radio too, and I've always been like scared to do. Like you never want to do radio because it's always awful. But and I've always been like, do I even have the juice to tell them I don't want to go? And I just told him, I go, I'm not going to radio tomorrow. And the guy was like, all right. And I was like, yeah, dude, I need to sleep. Like I can't. I arrived. I did the show. I was like, there's no way I can get up at 6 tomorrow and go do awful radio. And he was like, okay. And I just slept 14 hours. So I was like, I definitely knew that the sleep was 100% what I needed. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't even think that's even a big deal anymore. I think radio nowadays isn't as huge of a deal.
I think it's absolutely a waste of time.
Yeah,
I think
Twitter's probably more powerful.
I think that too. I think the only time, this is how radio is effective now, okay? If you're famous and you go to a city and you do radio, it's an advertisement to let people know that a famous person is there.
Right.
But the whole concept of like, be really funny now in this segment and it's going to move a bunch of tickets, I think that's long gone. And how many people really tune in to terrestrial radio. I mean, every car that I get in, I mean, people from all ages have their Bluetooth iPod go or plugged in and listen to what they want to listen to, or a podcast or something like that. But very few people are like, no, it's fucking, it's it's Woody and the Beaver. Like we gotta, you can't miss this segment. Like nobody fucking says that ever. Yeah,
since last year you've been here, the BBC had a report, and they were talking about that. They were talking about like how nowadays you have your iPhones, you can hook up, and there's like things like Stitcher where you can stream live podcasts.
Yeah,
and while they're showing how to do all this, they were showing Death Squad while they're doing it, like the logo.
I think I saw a Facebook thing. Yeah,
it was so weird.
That's so great. Wait, so what did it say?
They were just explaining like how nowadays you can hook up your iPhone and shit to your car stereo using Bluetooth and different kind of connections and stuff. And they were showing like how easy it was and what's available. And while they're doing this and they're showing this, they're showing like the Death Squad logo, like playing, and it was so weird. It's like out of all the podcasts,
how many podcasts do you have under this umbrella?
I don't know.
You don't know?
No. Because there's a few of them that I do only on special occasions, and then there's ones like little Esther's where I kind of put on the back burner, while she gets her shit together a little, and then.
Well, how many regulars? Like
regulars,
mine,
yours,
Naughty
Ari,
Show,
and Naughty Show is probably the three main ones, and then I do kind of one that where it's just me and a guest once in a while. So.
I saw Ari up in Vancouver too.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
That's weird. He was there the same weekend, right?
Yeah, he was there for the Just for Laughs Dirty show. I guess it actually tours. I thought it was just part of the Montreal,
right?
But they had a couple theater shows. Him, Jeff Ross, and Jay Okerson, Big Jay Okerson, and Thea Vidal. So they were all doing a big theater there.
Wow.
A couple shows, and I saw them at the fights too.
Wow.
The fights were amazing. It was so much fun to go to the fights.
I don't even, the last couple of UFCs, I'm starting to think they stretch it. They're diluting their name a little bit too much lately. Because it seems like, I don't know, like the last month there's been, 3 UFCs and there's one next weekend.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of like, I don't, like the last couple ones, I just didn't care. But I'm sure if you're there, it's a little bit different. But like.
Yeah, it's like a lot of sports, but I think fights are actually even more. And like, I've been to football games. I watch a lot of football. And there's something about, there's being at a game's exciting, but you can watch games definitely better at home. Yeah. I think but you cannot compare being at a fight to watching a fight. Yeah. Being at the fight is 1,000 times better than just watching it. Watching a fight's fun, but being there, the energy, because it's a fight. Like you can't describe. It's like when you're, at a bar and you see like the energy of being around a fight. The adrenaline is it's incredible, man.
I heard that the comedy shows, there was like lines down the block or wrapped around. It was insane.
It's so crazy. I mean, Joe is such an incredible draw. Like, and his fans are so hardcore and intense. Yeah, man.
I heard the weed was, not the cigarettes out there.
No, it was.
Look at the cat's face on the camera.
I know. He wants to be a part of this conversation. It was intense.
Yeah,
that was intense. But the show. We also popped in at a club there, but the theater was fucking crazy. The capacity of the place was like 11 something.
Yeah.
They had 12 something in there.
Wow.
And the theater, the person that ran it said, this is the most people we've ever had at this venue for any show ever.
Wow.
For that theater.
That's amazing.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
And when he said like, I'm going to sign autographs and take pictures.
Oh my God.
Holy Christ.
That's when you just kind of don't do that.
That's
right?
what me and Ari dipped out and went up front.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like torture, man. That's too many people.
Yeah,
that's like where you just let everyone go for like 30 to 40 minutes, like go home, and then you come out, and if there's a couple people waiting, then you're like, eh.
But it was so much fun, and I always have a blast in Vancouver, and I really that's like one of my favorite places to go for shows, just for hanging. It's a beautiful city, man.
For show,
it's a great time. So I love you, Vancouver. I send you my love. Thank you for being awesome. Let's bring aboard our our very special guest. People don't even know who's here right now. This is a gentleman that I worked with. We first met doing a live show. He might not even remember. But then we worked on a pilot together, and we really had a lot of fun. We became buddies. We've done shows together. He's extremely talented, extremely funny, beautiful legs. He has nice legs. And you've seen him all over television. He's currently on a TNT show called Franklin and Bash.
Oh, cool.
And he plays a character named Pindar. Is that right? Pindar. And it's Kumail Nanjiani, everybody.
Yay! I wouldn't have worn shorts if I'd known you'd be able to see my hideous legs.
You have nice legs.
I don't have nice
proud
legs.
of those.
They're very hairy.
Hello, mommy. You have to say hi, mommy.
Hi, mommy. I hope my mommy's not watching.
I hope
this.
she's not either. This is not appropriate. It's not appropriate for real mothers. You really, by the way, you look really fit.
Thank you.
Do you remember I saw Kumail and I work out at the same gym? This was so great.
Oh God.
And I walked in and he was like, he had a tank top on. And so, of course, you see your friend in a tank top, you're going to be like, hey, man, nice guns, right? So I saw him and I was like, hey, those arms are looking great. And his trainer was like 2 feet away, and his trainer did not pick up on that it was like done kind of.
You being a dick?
Yeah. So the trainer was like, see?
Oh, Jesus.
I told you, you look great. He goes, tell him again. I go, you look really good.
I was like, I just
He
wanted
was
to
like-
blend into the weight machine there.
He goes, he was so excited.
Oh, my
too.
God,
He was
yeah.
So he was like, I told you, I've been effective for you. Yeah, that guy. He's
huge.
He is, and he was so earnest the way he was like,
Yeah,
"See,
he's
dude, I've been-"
totally earnest.
Yeah. He was so sincere, man. God, thank you for coming. Thank you for
Yeah,
doing
of
this.
course. Thanks for having me.
This is very exciting for me to have you here. There's so much I want to cover. First of all, congratulations on the show that you're on the
thank
on
you.
the air right now. You guys are in your
Franklin
second
Bash.
week airing.
Third week.
Third week?
Well, it'll be the third one. This Wednesday will be the third episode.
That's a fun show to be a part of. You guys have a great cast.
Yeah. I love doing the show. I've gotten so much shit for that show, though.
Why?
Just because they were promoting it a lot during NBA. And
Yeah?
I think for a little bit on Twitter, it became the show to like make fun of.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's funny.
Just because of the name and the.
Oh, yeah.
Well, that's probably good though. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah. How's it? I mean, it's doing well.
It's doing well.
Great.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if it gets picked up or whatever, but I definitely like did a couple shows.
It's the show. It's a like a lawyer, right? A law
Yeah,
firm show
it's these two
starring
guys-
Mark Paul Gossier. Was it how you say?
Gosler, Mark Paul Gosler,
So-
and Breckenmeyer. They're like ambulance chaser lawyers who don't follow any of the rules.
Yeah.
Like they don't have
They
the
don't.
book.
Yeah.
But then
Because they
get-
have more of a conscience about what they do, right?
Yeah. They then get absorbed by like a big corporate law firm run
Right.
by Malcolm McDowell, legend.
Oh wow,
Malcolm McDowell.
That is
yeah.
legendary.
Yeah, when I went.
Did you meet him?
Yeah.
Oh,
I
like
mean, I
you?
hung out with.
Oh
him.
yeah, you've done.
We
oh.
were on the same show. For
How
like
was
4
that, dude?
When I did the pilot, when I got there, I was like, all I want from this is I want to text Malcolm McDowell once. That's all I wanted to do.
Yeah.
That's all I wanted. I didn't care if it went to series, if I sucked on it. So then there was one night where I was like, hey, we're going to go out. Give me your number so I can text you. We're going to go to a bar. And then I texted Malcolm fucking McDowell.
That's amazing.
And he came out. He came out with us.
And he You've received a text maybe from him as well.
Yeah.
Or if he was like, I'm not fucking retarded.
Yeah, but he showed up.
Yeah. That's
what-
amazing.
Did you use a lot of happy faces?
Yeah, he talks like a valley girl.
He's British, right?
Yeah, he's like so down to earth, super nice.
For everybody who might not know, Malcolm McDowell, of course, was the star of Clockwork Orange,
and
famous.
like a ton of stuff, yeah.
But Clockwork Orange is obviously like one of the best and most epic films, right? Like you can't really.
Yeah. Oh my god.
If you do like, it's like being in like Goodfellas, and you're like, what else you been in? Like, who cares?
Who cares?
Yeah, I was in Goodfellas.
They wanted to have a poster in our office during the show, a poster of Clockwork Orange, but they were like, "That's a mind fuck. You can't have that. That's weird. That's him.
There
That's
he
him
is.
right there."
That's rad. I was really obsessed with that movie for a while.
Me too.
That's
I
him.
mean,
Look at him.
Yeah,
It just came out on Blu-ray, a new Blu-ray edition.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
he was like promoting that and stuff. He was also in God of War, which I was playing at the time. God of War 3.
Oh, really?
I was playing it and I got to like this level and I was like, that's Malcolm McDowell.
Kumail is like an intense gamer where we wrote together on a pilot, and you know a lot of writers' offices have like video games, like things like that to take breaks and distract. And like Kumail was the one who was like, no, like this is gonna be part of the routine. Like, I'm not just this isn't like something that I might
It's
do.
research.
Yeah, he
Well,
was.
it was Matty
intense.
Kirsch too.
Matty was
Oh,
super
Matty
into
The
it.
Kirsch.
most positive guy in the world.
Is there
Hilarious.
anybody more positive?
Hilarious. Yeah.
Dude, Maddie would be like we'd run through scripts, remember, like 10 times. He was still laughing. We're like,
You
you
would
really
laugh so
laughing
hard."
genuinely at that right now?
Yeah, are you surprised?
Yeah,
you
you-
wrote this part. When we did the table
That's
read at
your
Comedy
joke,
Central,
man. Yeah.
you know,
Oh, yeah.
It was, and it's like all the execs, and then Maddie's laughing so hard.
Oh
at
my
every
God.
line. Like,
But I like being around somebody.
oh yeah, he's
It's
the most
so
positive
great
guy
to
in
be
the
around
world.
somebody who's super positive. Actually, I remember now, Franklin and Bash is one of many, basically every audition that I've been on.
You did an audition for it?
I auditioned for
Which one, Franklin or Bash?
One of the two.
You
I don't-
did really?
I really did. And then it's like one of those things where have you had where you audition and then like you get the sides and you go in, you read and you're like that went all right or that was terrible, whatever. And then when the show comes out, you're like, man, I was never gonna
Yeah,
be.
why did you even have me?
And then you're just like, and the only thing you can be like, oh, I got in front of the casting people. I
Yeah.
guess. But then you're like, that was such a so like I think that like that's literally one of the many times I'm sure where like I've walked in a room and like someone's just like, what the fuck's this guy? What are you doing here?
Well, but
and then you're like, oh, I'm not delivering something. I just wanted like, I'm running lines for you. And they're like, oh yeah, go ahead.
All right, whatever.
Yeah.
I'll turn this on. But you know what? The original part of Breckenmeyer was written to be sort of.
A fat man.
I didn't. I mean.
Oh, was it? Was it like a big dude?
I think it was written as like a sort of a. No, like a schlubby dude. Like
that makes me feel much better.
Yeah.
What if it was like a short, fit guy, and they're like, "We'll send a fat guy in too." So yeah, like that would
just to
me
make
feel-
everyone else look
Yeah,
better.
yeah. No, that's much better. Oh,
Yeah,
good.
that's how it was written.
maybe that's how I got the part or the sides at least.
Yeah.
not the part.
I
but-
did an audition for this movie coming out called 30 Minutes or Less, which actually looks really funny with Aziz, isn't it? and
Oh,
stuff.
Aziz and Swartzen and Danny McBride, right? That one.
Yeah, Swartzen's in it, Danny McBride's in it,
Yeah,
Jesse
yeah.
Eisenberg.
Wow,
But I
killer
read,
cast.
and
Yeah.
the ad's really funny. And I didn't get it. And then I saw that my part went to Danny McBride. And I was like, why
really?
am I even auditioning for this? Why? You clearly wanted Danny McBride.
Yeah. That's.
By the way, Matt Kirsch just said hello. He's watching right now.
Oh,
that's
nice.
awesome.
What's up, Matt?
Hilarious. Hey.
Matty Kirsch is the shit, man. Yeah, Matt would be like the guy you want like on every team.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and like you'd be like, I fumbled. He'd be like, it was beautiful. to watch,
Yeah.
so.
He was just like a really good force in the room.
Yeah.
Positivity. 'Cause
Oh, I feel like this is a thing that's probably been like over discussed, but as comics, I feel like I have to at least get everybody's take on it.
yeah.
And that is the Tracy Morgan thing from over the weekend.
Oh, yeah.
If you don't know about it, it's amazing. But Tracy Morgan basically was doing Zanies in Nashville, and he went on a rant that you could only, I guess, qualify as like intensely homophobic and like hate speech essentially.
What was weird about it wasn't that it just wasn't that gays are bad. It was you should hit them.
Well, it was.
That's a different level.
He said if my son were gay, I would stab him.
Yeah, and he
Yeah.
said if there's on the playground, if there are kids who might be gay, beat them till they're not gay anymore.
Oh yeah.
And then he said like they can take a joke. They take dick up their ass.
that's a really bad joke that he dropped in there. But here, okay, I feel multiple ways about this. There's I mean when you read everything, you're like it's terrible. It's not funny, and I don't defend it at all. Then part of me goes like, well, it really sucks to have like imagine if every night things that you do are like examined or
Especially when you're on stage.
I just
Or
feel
that
like
you're
we're getting
embarrassed about,
more and more, and the more exposure you get, the more famous you become. Like imagine like every show, like you go on tour, and every show like people are like, I mean it's not this, but like tonight, Kumail said this one joke, and this is what it was. It was kind of lame, and you're like, well, I
was just trying it out.
I was just throwing it out there,
I
like
was riffing. I went to a weird burrito shop in your town.
that's kind of the thing. Like I was thinking was like, I mean, and I want to make it like really clear. I don't condone what he said. I didn't. It's not funny at all, and it was actually like, it's a horrible thing when you think about like how far he went with it. But like, do you feel like if you like you at sometimes when you don't have like a well written joke, not even new, sometimes you just talk.
Yeah.
If is there like, are there limits to what you think somebody should be able to get into? Like, I just feel like the worst thing that I've ever said on stage is horrible and not funny.
Right.
And the only reason no one knows about it is because I'm not famous and there weren't enough people there that cared.
Yeah.
But now we're in like this social media age where literally people could like tweet from the audience. Like,
This is when I lived in New York like a year ago. He did a show at Carnegie Hall where he said a lot of homophobic stuff, and people walked out, and it was news in New York for just a little bit, and then it got totally covered up. Like his PR people got on it.
Yeah.
So this is not just a thing that he said spur of the moment. He
Yeah.
said some of those lines that
Yeah.
he said at Carnegie Hall.
This is a bit.
It just got
It's
stuck
like-
under the rug.
yeah.
Yeah, it's a written bit.
it's intensely. I mean, remember? Do you know Tim Hardaway, the basketball player?
Yeah, Tim Hardaway.
When he was on I think La Batard's show in Miami, Dan La Batard's show in Miami, and on the air he was like, "Look, man, like they're just interviewing." He's like, "I hate gay people. I fucking
that's
hate
right.
them," and you're like, "Whoa!" And you have to answer the apology. Yeah, he has to issue an apology rather, but I don't know. Like it just I don't defend what he said at all, but I just feel like how much more will people will this happen? In other words, like will comics continue to like famous comics really,
Yeah.
say stuff, and then will it be, hey man, like you couldn't, because I mean a lot of great comics say awful things.
Yeah, first of all, I think that it should be a meme, like gay guys jacking off to that. Should
Yeah.
become like to Tracy Morgan.
Yeah.
Send it to him. I think actually I did this show once in New York where like John Mayer dropped in, and he was really drunk, and he was kind of a real dick to me. It was like a weird thing.
Yes.
But then I sort of felt bad for him because he just had a weird bad night. He had a bad set. He was drunk. And then it was like reported everywhere.
Right, there's a video of you like leaving that club or something, right? Somewhere.
There is a video of the actual performance, but we made sure that nobody like got it.
And-
like that show was taped.
Wow.
Yeah.
So
it's somewhere.
he's fucking with you during his set, like he's trying to.
Well, he does his set. I don't want to get into it again. He does his set. I go on stage.
Yeah.
And then he runs up during my set, grabs onto the microphone, and starts like being like really shitty and mean to me.
Yeah.
And I get, it was really weird. It was a weird whole thing. But then that was reported like in a lot of like local New York things.
Yeah.
And then-
I just feel like, I don't know. I just feel like it is a weird line for me. Like I'm sure, I'm saying like good comics like Patrice O'Neill, I'm sure has said awful shit, finding his jokes. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like he's a guy who says like intensely polarizing things sometimes.
Yeah.
And or whatever, or Jim Norton or somebody like that. Like they say like shit that could be that you go, oh, and I watch that and I go, he's trying to find his joke.
Yeah, but I mean,
but you're saying that like, but you make a good point, which is that like this is a recurring theme with this guy, and he clearly harbors like real feeling. Like this isn't like I'm trying to, whatever, gays or whatever. And he's just like, no, seriously.
I mean, something happened. And I mean, I don't know the cadence with which he said it. I could see that being like a funny thing. Like, if my son was gay, I would stab him.
Yeah, it could be, right. But
I could see it, but you have to be so responsible because that is a big problem right now. And like the gay suicides in school, do you remember?
No,
That was just a few months ago. It was a huge thing. So I think at best, it's like horrifically irresponsible for
Yeah.
him to say. Like, you just have to be careful, and he has to know he's a public figure.
Yeah.
Stuff he does is going to get reported, and he just has to, I mean, it's a responsibility.
The other side of it, which I find questionable, is it's clearly a terrible thing, and they've addressed NBC issues in a statement.
Yeah.
Tina Fey does. Is he held to a different standard because we kind of all go, well, he's fucking
He's a
stupid.
weird dude.
Yeah, he's weird, and like
Yeah, totally.
because Alec Baldwin says that like at a thing. It's not like we're gonna talk to him. He had a bad night and he was sleepy.
Yeah.
Like
he was sleepy.
it's gonna be like we got a new guy on the show. He's fucking gone, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, Alec Baldwin had that thing with his daughter, remember?
But I find that to be
that's
like,
different.
I think that's extremely different.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a unfortunate incident. It was like you can criticize him, but it was a private voicemail where he's there's a lot of real things going on there. A divorce, an intense battle for what's it called?
That's a personal
It's
thing.
a very personal thing, and like he said something that like it's regrettable to what he said and how he said it to his own
But
kid.
it's his shit.
It's his own shit. This is like gays should be dead. Like it's,
Yeah.
it's
I actually said something on Twitter about how, like, because he's sort of considered wacky and weird, we give him a little bit of pass on
Yeah.
this. But then a lot of people started like arguing with me on it.
What?
And I deleted those tweets because I just didn't want to like deal with it anymore.
Do you guys think that he's almost playing a character on purpose to try to get as many? Like, do you think he goes home and goes to his wife and goes, dude, I said some fucking crazy shit
No,
today."
I don't.
You don't. You think he's at home? He's fucking. I'm pregnant, get in my belly, and all that shit.
I think he's kind of bananas, and I think that like like that pregnant thing. He's said it so many times now. It's kind of like I got it.
We get it. It's a good bit. But
Right.
And then I really think that for him, if a lot of times he does shows really fucked up, and he'll do shows which like comics would be like there's not a lot of jokes going on there. Like he'll just rant wild shit.
I actually was in Denver a month ago, and he was doing the other club. And there
South,
was,
yeah.
Yeah, he was.
How great was that club, by the
Oh,
way?
it's the best.
It's the shit, right?
Denver Comedy Works downtown.
It's incredible.
It was so much fun.
Yeah.
It was
Both of
so
them
much
are good.
fun.
They're both good, but
I haven't
yeah.
done the other one, but that's what Tracy was playing, and it felt like people were. And also, Charlie Sheen was there that weekend.
Damn, there's a
Yeah.
lot of competition. Man.
Yeah.
But no, I think he's out of his mind, and I mean, he doesn't, dude. He doesn't do really like. I mean, he can. I'm not saying he's not capable or funny. He's a funny dude, but like
is
he
a
just
funny
kind
dude.
of.
He is a funny.
He is a funny dude. He's a really funny dude. He's the kind of guy too that I mean, in a way, he was like I think he's kind of a writer's dream if you get what makes him funny because
Yeah.
Tracy can like say 2 words and it can be hilarious, or he can react. Like he's the guy who can just look and you're like and just you fall out laughing. It's all about just like understanding what makes him funny.
Yeah, he can do lines that nobody else could pull off.
Absolutely. No, he should be given credit for being a funny dude, but that's just it's crazy shit what he said. But I just do feel like I mean, on top of like, will this happen more? I think it's going to happen more. I mean, like with the way Twitter and like this was just the reason
There's
that
no
the story,
filter between famous people and audience.
The
now.
story broke because an audience member
wrote about it on Facebook.
Yeah, just posted a thing and like that's now that's a new like there was no way to do that 5-10 years ago.
No,
right?
not
way.
at all.
Like you'd have to be like write some. You have to write like a letter, to the paper or something. and-
Yeah, there's no.
What is
no
going
way to
on
go
in that
viral.
photo?
It looks like he's sucking on Sarah Silverman's finger, maybe.
Oh, okay.
She's smiling. She's into it.
She's into
Into
it.
it. You know what? I've always had this weird, especially when he was on Saturday Night Live. Not too much recently, but I always thought he was bisexual. So it's kind of odd for me
That's funny.
that he even does this because I always thought he had a little gay.
Well,
in
that
him.
might make sense.
That could be. I mean I don't. Maybe he is. He's a wild dude. I mean, you remember when he
Yeah.
got in trouble in at the radio station in Florida for right? Like
What was that?
that was this is where he got charged with like sexual assault. or something.
Really?
Yeah, he went into like some girl was on the air and I think he went in and like he took her shoes off, started licking her feet, and then like groped her.
That's what he went for.
I think he groped her and stuff too.
Okay,
But it was
good,
a whole
good.
thing. Yeah.
Because if you're gonna get sexual harassment,
Yeah.
Don't wanna
Get a
just go
little
for the
more.
feet.
Yeah, get
Yeah,
more than
jeez.
that. Get some ass. Get some. Grab a titty or something.
grab a titty or something.
Pinch it.
Pinch ass, pinch titty.
I don't know if you caught what we played when we introduced you.
What was that?
Well, we were playing "Proud to Be an American."
Was it?
Yeah.
I just passed my citizenship test a couple of weeks ago.
Congratulations.
Welcome to the big
Thank
leagues,
you.
buddy. Welcome to the big leagues.
This is the big league?
This is the big
I
leagues.
feel like I've arrived.
Was it an easy test?
It was so easy.
Yeah.
I went in and the dude was like, "Don't worry, I haven't failed anyone in years."
Don't worry. That's good.
And then he told me, "Oh, I don't know. Am I supposed to talk about
Yeah, you can. Come on, dude.
it?" Proud to be an American. He started talking to me, and I feel like most people that are there don't really speak English that well. Most people who get
Yeah.
tested, because I was in line for it, and I asked the person in front. I was like, "What?" I was like, "Is this the line for the citizenship test?" And he was like, 1492. Like they had just memorized their answers. They didn't know. And
You're like, is there a math movie? He's like Abraham Lincoln.
Hey,
And you're like,
exactly.
okay.
All right, got it. Free the slaves. It really was. So I think he was sort of happy to see somebody who he could talk to.
Oh, wow.
Because he talked to me for a while,
Wow.
and he was telling me, "Oh, I don't. Is this is okay to say?
Yeah.
Will this be out there forever?
No.
It'll go away?
Yeah.
Will it?
Yeah.
Seriously?
I don't know.
Well, is there an archive of this, Brian?
Yeah. It's
Okay.
on iTunes and everything.
Well, this guy told me that he was. Oh man. Let me wait till I take my oath, and then I can do it.
Okay.
Now the story's built up too much.
Yeah, I
anyway.
know, man. It's really like people are going to write in
Just
now.
change the name. Why wouldn't you be able to say anything?
Yeah.
He said that he was Jet Li's, like he was Jet Li's question person, like when Jet Li was doing his citizenship
Yeah.
test, and he didn't know who Jet Li was. And he was like, this dude was smiling at me. So I was like, this guy's hitting on me. So he went and complained to his supervisor. He was like, hey, he said, this guy's a gay. This is what the tester told me. He's like, I said, this guy's a gay. He's hitting on me. And the guy was like, no, that's Jet Li. He's the superstar. And then Jet Li complained to his lawyer, being like, this guy didn't know who I was. What the fuck? And he rejected his application.
What?
Because Jet Li hadn't been paying his child support.
Wow.
And I was like, you shouldn't be telling me any of this.
No.
None of this I should know.
No, but the best is that he's like smiling and
Yeah, he's like smiling at
There's
this
a
guy.
gay in there.
Yeah, and the dude, even if Jet Li's gay, he is way out of this dude's league. Like, this dude was like short, bald, in his 60s.
Look
Jet
at
Li.
Jet. Like he probably had that smile right there.
Yeah, look.
That's
Oh
what
my
he
god,
did.
look at
Oh,
look
maybe
at
to the left there in the gray.
Oh,
There
man,
you
look
go.
at that.
That was what he was looking at.
Very
He was
awesome.
like, test here.
Oh my
Test
god, I
here.
want to kick your butt.
Jet Li's
No, but
like-
this brings me. Hold on, because I've been wanting to have this conversation so badly with you. We started this conversation one time. I asked you some of these questions, and I think you were like, "What the fuck is wrong with you?" But that is okay. For obviously, people would know you were born and raised in Pakistan
Yeah,
and came over when you were 19,
yeah.
and you never saw stand up
Yeah, I'd never really seen stand-up.
until like you came over to the States.
Yeah, I'd seen one like Mr. Bean thing, but it wasn't stand up. It was when he does like his weird sketches, one person things, you know?
Yeah.
Look at that. He's
Sorry.
making out with himself.
Yeah.
man.
He's kissing
Look at how
himself on
gay
the
he is.
cheek.
But this is okay. This is what like blows my mind, and I think somebody could misinterpret this. But you like okay, a lot of foreigners that come to the States have a kind of a different grasp of what comedy is. I think. Do you know what I mean by this? Like, people come here and they don't have they usually don't have you have a very sophisticated sense of humor. Like you grasp like all the new, like you perform them. Like you have like you get nuance, what makes things funny. Did you have that sensibility when you're 16, 17, 18? You know
No,
what I
I
mean?
wasn't really funny when I was a kid.
Did you understand what was funny? Did you find like did the things that make you kind of make you laugh now that you find funny, would that make you laugh then?
I mean, you change as you grow up, but I
Right.
think, I mean, I grew up watching Hollywood movies. I didn't really watch that many comedies. I like horror and sci-fi. So I watched Ghostbusters and stuff. That was the comedy. But Yeah, I mean, I thought stuff was funny, and
I mean,
but
in your own
hadn't seen-
personal life, like things that made you laugh at home or whatever, would it be?
I was a pretty serious kid.
You're pretty serious.
Yeah, I had a pretty funny family.
Yeah.
But I was a pretty serious kid.
Man,
like I was
serious
pretty like
Kumail.
shy.
Really?
And, like I wouldn't go when I was a kid. I wouldn't go to stores and like I couldn't like pay money to buy stuff. Like I was that shy.
Really?
Till like I was
Wow.
pretty old. Yeah.
No shit.
Why do you think that is?
I just was very insecure. I was very, very insecure when I was.
So like if you wanted something, you'd be like, go with me or
You know what it was? I thought honestly, if this is too heavy, I thought I was like really ugly as a kid. Like I thought I was super ugly, and I wouldn't go to stores because I thought they wouldn't sell me stuff because they thought this kid's too ugly.
What?
Shut up,
I
dude.
swear that's what I
Wow.
thought.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Till I was like pretty like old. Like I thought I was like really, really too ugly for people to.
Really?
Yeah. Like for a
Weird.
long time.
Now, why did you think that? Other people telling you that, or did you parents or?
You just had a complex about it?
Yeah, I had
But-
a really bad complex about it.
To put like you put it on yourself? Like or like you heard people would tell you things.
No, people wouldn't really tell me. I think at some point somebody said, like I remember this is so my mom used to make fun of me because I had like a big nose.
Yeah.
So I think that's where it came from. She didn't mean anything by it. She was just being funny.
Sure.
Nothing on her, but she didn't realize how much it affected me. So I think for
Yeah.
like since I was a little kid, I remember like for many, many, many years until I think I came to college or something. I
Yeah.
had a pretty awful complex about.
Oh my god.
Like I would like what I ate and stuff. I was like very super careful about it. And,
for like weight and everything?
yeah, since when I was like 14, 15 and stuff like that. Like, I
You
was
really
little
had a
kid.
serious complex.
Yeah, yeah. It was.
You must be
bad.
amazed that you have a beautiful wife. I mean, are you like
Yeah.
she can't see the real me.
Yeah, if she saw me when I was 5.
Jesus,
she would,
man.
She would divorce me. Yeah, it's pretty heavy.
That is heavy.
Yeah, I haven't ever really talked to anybody about this.
Well,
I've told her.
I
But
think you're a beautiful man.
I think
Thank
you're
you.
beautiful too.
No, that but
no, but that's all beside the point. Like now, I don't really care about looks as much. I think you sort of lose it as you get older. You're like, I
Right.
don't
No, yeah, yeah.
really. It doesn't really matter how.
But
you
it's so
look.
funny the extreme. Like when you think about the extreme of being so shy, feeling so bad about like I can't go to the store to pay stuff to you get
Yeah.
in front of audiences and
Yeah,
talk.
I do think
It is crazy.
it can come from the same place though. Like there's like a lot of I think there's a lot of comics who are pretty like introverted and shy and
for
quiet.
sure, for sure.
Who jump on stage.
Actually, I
and
think
they
only
light
the
up.
good ones. But I don't think there's any like
Yeah.
I really don't think that like usually like somebody who has like a part of them that's like has that serious, sincere, introverted thing.
Yeah,
I find and they're not on.
yeah,
They're much funnier than the guy who's bouncing off the walls.
yeah.
for
You
sure.
definitely see people who are like very quiet and shy and then get on stage and they light up and they're amazing.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah, oh yeah, and then they get off and it's back to
And it's back to because I think they get what they want from the stage. They're not
think
like
so.
looking for validation.
100% of the time.
Yeah.
That's so, but like, yeah, that's the thing that like, I guess, I know I just found it so interesting. I mean, you didn't see even stand up, and then
Well, the
like
first thing I
said-
saw was the Jerry Seinfeld I'm telling you for the last time, which was his last HBO hour. That was the first stand up I saw, which was like 99, right?
What did you think of that when you
I
saw
thought
it?
it was the best thing I'd ever seen.
Really?
I was like, you can do this. This can be a job. Like, this is
Really?
crazy. This can be. I'd
You're
never.
in college when you see this?
I was in college. I hadn't watched the show very much. I've caught up since then, and I love the show, but I've never really watched the show that much. And I watched that special, and it like blew my mind. And
I think it's so I think it's so I mean, I think it affects me more because I have like basically a foreign half of my family. Like my mom is from Peru, and I grew up with just so much of like a foreign, influence in the house, like cousins, aunts, uncles, friends of hers, and it's like just all this thing. And humor always seemed like it was like some of them are extremely funny and everything, but
Yeah.
like I mean, language is a thing too. I mean, you obviously speak fluent English, so that kind of adds to it. But
I
like,
do think what helped me kind of was coming from a different place, and you sort of notice things more because it's different, and you realize that things don't have to be a certain way or whatever. And then even language stuff, because you're picking up the what's the word for it? I'm so fucking
Like
foreign.
addiction or cadence or
Yeah, the just the way people talk.
like the lexicon.
Yeah, like
yeah.
the casual way people talk. Like saying things like cool. Like
Yeah.
I never said cool till I was 18. So you sort of pick up these things so late that you can actually process them and think about them.
Yeah, I guess the other thing is that I mean, it just speaks to your ability as a comic, obviously, but like all those things, you think about like, oh, yeah, somebody comes over and they see things differently and everything like that. But for usually, foreigners that when they come over, is that like derogatory the way I'm saying that? I don't mean it to be.
I think it's the sneer when you say it.
Yeah.
Is what
Usually,
really-
okay.
And you're flicking them off. I know a lot
I'm
of people
sorry.
can't tell.
Usually people from like shitty places when they come here, like they will be it's almost like they also all jump on the same thing. Like they'll point out the same thing. Like you've seen like comics from another country and then they hit the stage and you go, oh, like,
Yeah.
they're gonna hit all the marks. But you never do that. Like, did your stand up start like that?
No.
Never.
I started after 9/11, so I was like, because right after 9/11, there were a ton of like Muslim, American, Arab, like there were a fucking ton of them who were like using it to get like famous.
Yeah.
And a lot of them are gone now. I knew so many of these guys, and they were all doing the same jokes, doing the same jokes.
And you never did.
No, because I like, the people I liked were like Seinfeld. I really
Yeah.
loved Woody Allen stand up, like stuff like that I'd seen. Mitch Hedberg.
You made a
and
ballsy choice, man.
I was like, yeah.
It was. That's a ballsy choice.
I was freaking out. I didn't know what to do with my life. I was like
Yeah.
good at nothing.
Were you a good student?
I was a good student.
You were.
Yeah, but I didn't really care about anything. Like I didn't want to do any. Like I was a computer science and philosophy major.
Really? Yeah. Man, Christina. Oh, by the way, I'm a piece of shit. Christina, the other mommy.
Yeah.
She was a philosophy major.
Oh, was she?
She was, yeah. So this would have been a really fun for her. But yeah, my house is all like philosophy books, and people always are like, Tom, I didn't. I'm
Yeah.
like,
No, I don't.
I don't know.
Descartes.
Nietzsche. I don't know how to say
Yeah.
it. Yeah. Yeah. Like everything, Kierkegaard and
Yeah.
everything's in the house. But anyways, the reason obviously she isn't here, if we haven't addressed that, is that she's in the Middle East.
Yeah.
Shitting in plastic bags.
Is she actually shitting in plastic? Because I don't think that's standard over there.
It's not. It's because
Somebody's punking her.
It's a fetish thing.
She's it is pretty hot. She's
Is she bringing him back? Can she bring him back?
I would so love it to. She is
This
in a
one's
couple of these
hummus.
bases are like pretty remote, and they don't have like if the base is a decent size, they don't have plumbing at all or porta potties. So you shit into a plastic bag and then you throw it into
The locals' houses.
you throw it into like a kid on a bike. You just throw it at them, or like a school. You just throw it at school.
like a soccer game.
and
or
you
something
say
like
you have
that.
to say like USA when you throw it.
Yeah.
No,
You
there's
don't
a
even need to
steel
say it. Bag of shit says
bag shit.
USA.
USA, absolutely. It's no, you throw it into a steel drum that's has a fire going.
You set your shit on fire.
The fire is just going the whole time, and so you just throw it in there, and then it evaporates, or not, whatever, it burns up.
Oh man, when are you going?
I just took a shit here. Let's be honest.
You did a double stack.
You know that I do the thing. I think most people that are like their minds and bodies operate in a healthy way will go like you go, oh, like when you feel the sensation, you go, I have to go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
I was sitting here.
Yeah.
I had the like intense thing, and
I
I
was
go
about to start.
right, and I go, oh, I'll just sit through. I'll just go through the show like this, and then I'll shit later. Like, and it was clearly like, no, you got to go. Like, you have to go.
Nope.
And I was like, nope, I'll just. And then like a minute passed by, and I was like, there's no way I could sit through an entire show
You
doing
feel
this.
so much better. When
Oh
Yeah,
my
you need
God.
to get that shit out of you.
I don't even like.
Yeah. I hate shitting though. I hate that we have to do it.
It is gross.
I love it.
It bugs me. Like I don't like to think about it.
I know.
Like everybody I've talked to has like shit inside them.
Yeah.
Like when you're making out with a hot girl, she has like shit
Shit in her-
inside her.
yep.
When she farts and you smell it, that's
shit.
That's particles
That's
from
shit.
her butt that are in your nose.
Do you and the wife
Worst.
talk shit? Like you have shit
No.
conversations?
No. I
That's
don't fart
off.
around her.
Really?
Like,
You're one of those?
Yeah, I don't like to deal with it at all.
Do you excuse yourself, or you just walk out of the room, or do
Yeah,
you-
I don't even Yeah.
And do you
walk
make
out
a
of the-
show of that? You'd be like, I left something at the mailbox.
Not at all.
No, so you'll just
no,
be
no.
like casual.
I go check the mail 6 times a day.
But you DL will like sneak out of the room.
Yeah, and I think she probably knows when,
And does she do the same for you?
Yeah.
Wow.
We don't. We're not
A
comfortable.
farting couple.
I'm not comfortable with my body
I'm
at all.
so far, like a lot of friends are like you, and they're like, no, dude. And then Christina and I meet everybody, and we're like, oh, and like we fart on each other, like
Yeah. I just had a fart off where I put our assholes together and we tried to fart at the same time to see if we could, like, it would be like a tug of war to see who
Oh
gets
my
the fart in
God.
there.
We will never
I
have
lost.
that kind of love.
No? Why not?
Because I hate it.
he really hates it.
I don't think shit stuff is funny. Like,
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
My dad had a really dirty sense of humor. Like he had all these. Look at these fucking legs. Gross. They're like. Oh,
Yeah, I
I'm
feel like you're
so
hating yourself
ashamed
again.
of my body.
Why?
No. But he would talk about like fart and shit a lot. He'd have these jokes, and I never thought.
I
it was
wish you
funny.
had my body so you could really hate yourself.
I never thought that. I think it's like super gross, and I don't like to think about it.
So your dad likes shit and fart jokes?
Oh
right?
yeah, all the time.
I would love your dad. Me and your dad would
Yeah.
totally hang out.
Yeah, all the time.
Did your dad ever fart on you as a kid?
My dad would fart.
Yeah.
Boogers? Does he do boogers?
He would fart boogers. We're Pakistani.
Wait,
It's different over
It's
there.
different over there.
Yeah.
Wait, so you guys have-
Boogers is when a little bit of shit comes out, right? I
Oh
wanna make
yeah,
sure
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
right on
no,
the
no. I'm just you don't know all the
terminology.
slang. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Anyway, so I've been flushing boogers down the
I
toilet.
I find boogers actually but not shit boogers. But
Yeah.
I find nose boogers to be repulsive.
Okay.
I have kind of
They
a-
are.
But I mean, I have like
That's
I wouldn't
yeah.
say a phobia, but I like if somebody's like picks their nose and I go holy shit, and
Yeah.
my eyes water and I'm like oh like yeah, like when the whole thing. Remember like growing up, especially when you're a kid and kids would eat their boogers.
Dude.
Dude, I like people still would be like, you didn't do that ever? I'm like, fuck no, dude. Like it's intense. I can feel it inside how repulsive
I
I
have
find
such
it.
an easy gag reflex. I can throw.
Yeah.
Once I remember I was in Chicago. I got on the bus and I sat down next to this guy and I noticed like everybody's sitting really far away from him.
Yeah.
And I look, and this guy has like things on his skin, like he's got like scabs and lesions and stuff, like
my
it's all
God.
red and black and shit, like all over. And he's picking the scabs and
Oh.
he's eating them.
Oh.
And I'm sitting next to this dude,
Oh my
and it's like, when is it polite
no.
to walk away?
You can go right then.
And this
right fucking then. Yeah.
he's let go of a lot.
Yeah.
I don't think he. But people are looking at me like, oh, I can't wait till he sees what's going on.
Yeah, oh really? They're like, look
Yeah,
at this one.
everybody's like, he's gonna see it.
Wide-eyed.
And I see that, and I look, and nobody's looking at the dude. Everybody's looking at me.
Yeah, I can feel it right now,
Oh.
dude. That kind I remember in college there was there's like in every class there's like a real fucking weird
Yeah.
like you're like this dude's fucking weird. And there was a kid sitting there, he was weird all the fucking time. But one day I'm sitting in class and just some boring, I think it was microeconomics class. And I look over and this kid is picking on his face, right? And then he's going looking at it and then he's eating it.
Oh.
So he's picking open something on his face and he keeps eating it. And I was like, but then he saw, when someone catches you being like, like, what the fuck, man? And he was just like, stop. And he wanted to get back to that meal. Like,
Yeah,
he was
it's
enjoying
so
it.
delicious.
Yeah, that was his joy. That's the thing too, is like you learn about. I just found out a friend of mine's like sibling loves eating raw hamburger meat,
Yeah.
and I was like, what?
Yeah.
I didn't know that was a
crazy.
thing. But all that stuff goes back
Well, like
to
steak tartare is that, but they put like spices and
yeah.
shit in
But
it.
he likes raw ground beef,
It's
and
horrifying.
it's horrifying. But you know that is like a childhood thing. Like at
Yeah.
some point,
Yeah.
without knowing what he was doing, did that, and that becomes
Kind
lifelong,
of, but
right?
I used to eat cold hot dogs, and then now
Yeah.
that
Uncooked?
just disgust me. Yeah, that I loved cold hot dogs, even when especially when it had the cheese in the middle of it, and then like you eat it raw. It's so good, but nowadays I think of that and I just gag. Fuck that.
I don't want to think of food as being animals ever. So like I even get my steaks like well done.
Do you really?
Oh,
I don't
no,
like the
that's-
blood coming out
Well
of it.
done?
It's like blood, like yeah.
Oh man, that's a waste of a steak.
Like
That
you know,
is.
like sometimes you eat chicken and there's like fucking a vein in it or something.
Yeah,
it's
I don't like that
purple
either.
thing.
Oh, I hate
But
that.
steak, oh man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
when chicken has a clot in it and you like
Oh my
burst open
God.
that cyst of blood.
Have you ever cracked an egg and there's like a blood clot in
Yeah.
there? Like it was-
That feels
Jesus.
good, you know, because you know it's a baby, you know.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
that is
yeah.
kinda-
Abortion.
yeah, I like knowing I ate a baby. Oh, I know. How long have we been on? I don't want to. I know. I gotta.
55 minutes.
Okay, we got to get Kumail out of here. I actually, honestly, want to keep talking about how you develop an act as somebody who came over. I find it so fascinating.
Yeah.
I really do. I mean, I find it so fascinating. Oh, by the way, if you don't know, like, it's not like, oh, Kumail does stand up sometimes. Like, he's done Letterman, Conan, Kimmel,
Yeah, Fallon.
Oh, just all the major
That's
shows.
awesome, man.
Yeah, like he's been on everything. And he tours all the time, and like you're not like, competent at it. Like you're obviously prolific at it. Like you really know how to do stand up. I just find it so crazy that you can come over here. I mean, obviously you have a gift for it, but be like 20 years old, 19 years old.
Yeah, it was desperation. Like I honestly was like, I don't know what the fuck I'm gonna do with my life. Like
Yeah.
I'm good at nothing that I want to do and everything. Like if it was a way to make money off of video games, that's what I would have been doing.
Sure.
But like stand up, like when I got to college and I got friends and I got more confidence, people would tell me that I was funny, and
Yeah.
my friends were like, you should try stand up.
Yeah.
So that's how I tried it. And it like honestly, my first set was, to this day, it was in front of friends and stuff.
Yeah.
One of the best sets I've ever had.
Really?
I remember, yeah, being so cocky, walking off stage, like remember thinking I could do Letterman next week if I wanted to.
Really?
Yeah. And I mean, I look at these jokes, they were horrible.
Sure.
I did like 20 minutes.
You did 20 minutes your
The
first time?
I did
Wow.
stand up, I did. Because, I mean, you're in college. It was
Yeah.
it was all friends. Like everybody was, having fun, and yeah, and it was awful. I mean, it was atrocious, but I was lucky in that I didn't. If I'd bombed, like you see some people that like you're like you've been doing it for 3 years, you've never had a good set. It's
Oh.
just impressive that you're still doing it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Or when it gets to like 6.
Yeah,
7 years.
that's
20.
another.
And you're like, still, huh? Like, you're
Jeez.
still- yeah, and then there's another level of that where like there are some people who they were doing it before I did it. Like they were like
Yeah.
already around. I've been doing it now
Yeah.
9 years. So they're that plus however long they were doing it, and they still have I would just say like a very low batting average where you're doing
Yeah,
like,
every
holy
fourth
shit.
time you do okay. Like
Yeah,
that's what it's like
and they're,
fool's
and they're
gold.
like,
That's
yeah,
what
still,
keeps going.
just seeing what's gonna
It's
happen.
like when Rasheed Wallace shoots threes. You're like, you make
Right.
every fifth one, but
Right.
this keeps you shooting threes.
Keep going for it, man. Launching them. I like when guys like Wallace. Who was it this year? Somebody. Was it Glenn Davis or somebody? Somebody on the Celtics. They were down or something in the playoff game, and like they just like they needed to like move the ball on, obviously, and it wasn't a 3-point. I think it was like Glenn Davis shot, and then they like call timeout after it, like he misses a shot, and you see what's Doc Rivers, the
Yeah.
Celtics coach. They cut to him like that little beat before you go to commercial.
Yeah.
And he goes, "A 3? Really? A 3?" like clearly like you don't fucking make threes, man.
To
It's the
Glenn Davis.
best. It's the best moment. Yeah.
3?
He's like, "A 3? Really? A 3?" He's like, "You never make him in practice."
Glenn Davis, did he start crying again? You remember when KG made Glenn Davis cry?
Oh,
Have you
what?
seen that when he's on the bench like ripping on him? I think it was last season when he's on the bench and he's like ripping on him, and Glenn Davis like clearly starts crying.
Wow.
No, I
Yeah.
vaguely remember it. I remember a great crying thing was when Nick Saban was coaching the Dolphins, and they were just starting mini camps like before the season. And one of the players they drafted, I forget where he was from, a defensive lineman, maybe from SC. They were doing like the stretches before practice,
Yeah.
and he's just like, "Mom!" Like you can just see like it's like from a distance, but you can see like fucking pointing and head shaking, yelling,
Yeah.
And the guy's like, and he's tears, I mean, streaming at it, and you're like, that's an NFL defensive lineman, like bawling. And the thing was, they found out that he came into camp out of shape. So he was basically like, "You fat-titted piece of shit," like
That's-
just ripping on him.
Well,
and-
you know what? Your only job in life is to be in shape. Like,
That's
you
it.
make
That's it.
Millions of dollars.
That's all your
just
job
to not
is.
be a slob.
Yep.
I loved when Spoelstra this season was like, guys in the locker room are crying about the Heat.
Yeah.
Remember that? Like
Yeah,
it was
yeah.
like 3 months ago. I love that.
Yeah, yeah,
God,
yeah. That's great, man.
so
Were you,
glad they.
were you happy to see the Mavs win?
I was happy to see the Heat lose, which is how everyone was.
Yeah.
And then I was watching them lose, and I felt kind of bad. But then they showed the clip of like the 3 of those dudes at the beginning of the season, like
Yeah.
dancing, and
Yeah.
there's fireworks. I was like, "Fuck these
We're not
guys."
talking about 5. We're not talking about 6. We're not talking about 7. We're not talking about 8. Like, how many? You're talking about a decade run of
Yeah.
championships? Yeah, that was pretty great. I mean, the whole thing. I'm just not like I don't like intensely hate any of those players or anything, but I am not a big fan of like assembling an all-star squad as your team.
Yeah.
Like that was the whole
Well, just the
Yankees
way they
thing.
did
You know,
it was
it's
so
like
gross.
really. You got 9 all-stars on your team.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, it's like the Globetrotters.
it really is. Like your payroll is like $300 fucking million for like it's just insane. And then there's teams that fucking throw in the towel. Other teams that are just like, no, like we don't spend money. And
Yeah.
but I think like I don't know. I still am a fan of like a team has a great player and you get a supporting cast.
Yeah, I like the Bulls.
I like that. I like that more. Okay, we're gonna do this. Even though I would love to keep this conversation, I want to get Kumail out of here. I want you to watch this video. Give me your thoughts on it, and just tell me how many views you think this video has. But also, you can give me your thoughts on it.
All right. I haven't seen it. I don't know.
Yeah, you've never seen this.
This is technique 3 on page 57.
Is this Tim and Eric?
No.
Right angles to your massage
This is a real video.
facing the back of the knees and the
This is a guy just showing you how to do a massage.
Which I just recently had this same technique done to me.
How'd it feel?
It was great.
For those that can't see, it's a back like hamstring and inner thigh massage.
The creepiest.
And look see how far he goes up?
And that's that's
You could see her buttocks flinched for a second.
except it's not her.
When I
have a semi.
when I had it done, they went even a step farther
Yeah.
where her hand
Well, that's
was
where you
against my
come. Yeah.
balls. Yeah.
This dude.
Really?
Yeah.
Hand touch your ball?
Yeah, and then she
Yeah.
climbed on top of me, and she was just like massaging me, but her whole time her boobs are like rubbing against me.
Was
and
she?
Asian?
No.
Asian.
Was she hot?
I couldn't tell because it was like pitch dark in this
couldn't
room,
tell.
and your
Pitch
face is
dark?
down. Like you have to take off your clothes and just be in your boxers with your face down in like that little hole.
Yeah.
And then she turns off like all the lights.
What city was this? Were you in?
Burbank.
Do you remember Boyd telling us that story about his friend would go and get blowjobs?
Yes, that was amazing.
There was this
In South
you'd
Florida.
lay on a table and there's a hole and you would get a blowjob from under.
Real,
the
no, don't look, don't look.
Okay.
How many views do you think it has?
Shit. I should have no
Yeah.
views.
But just
It should have
rough
no
guess.
views. Like 10,000.
If I originally saw that video, I would have said like 240, something like that.
Can you pull it up?
Yep.
Just like reveal it.
Yeah. 218,376,000.
It's a top 10 YouTube video of all time.
218
million views.
What?
You know what I almost think that is? I almost
It's like a joke.
yeah, like I
people-
almost think somebody that works at YouTube. It's like, I'm just gonna go in the database and add a couple of numbers and stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's a
crazy.
top 10 or top 20
Yeah.
all time.
Does that mean they
and-
make money off of
And
it?
the,
Yes.
and
Yeah.
the second one
It should mean
has 11,000.
11
11
million.
million, I mean.
11 million.
For the leg
So
massage
not as
number
big.
5.
Yeah, 5. He has
Flopped.
5 leg massages.
Oh, this is just the fifth one.
I just want to.
Are the comments like people making fun of it?
Yeah, a lot. He had to disable. He disabled an inner thigh one. There's an inner thigh massage video because I was clicking through
He
his
disabled
videos,
it?
and it was like because you knew that it was just like pull that cock or like it was all like who's gonna come now, and then he was just like nah, I'm taking this shit down. Yeah,
Man, if I paid like $50 for a massage and it was that dude, I wouldn't. His,
No.
his
He looks
head's
so Tim and Eric-y. He does.
Yeah,
Yeah.
his head looks like he's wearing like a headpiece on top
yeah.
of his head.
It looked like a helmet. It did. It definitely did. Wait, what were we just saying before that?
Boyd.
Oh,
so
yes.
he's getting blowjobs.
His friend,
his
not
friend is
Boyd.
getting blowjobs at this parlor. There's a hole, and you go get a blowjob from like under the table.
Yeah. So wait, you lay on the table, and there's basically
a woman under there.
Right. There's a glory. They show you a hot
There's
woman.
a glory, yeah.
They show you a hot woman.
And then you
put your dick
glory
in the hole.
and
Yeah.
he's like, it's great. They do a great job. And then that place got busted
Mm-hmm.
because they found out it was like slave labor.
Right.
All these kids from where was it? Like Cambodia.
Yeah,
Vietnam
like
or something.
Vietnam or
It
Cambodia.
was
or
like
something.
Vietnamese.
And it was all
boys. It was all like
little boys.
10-year-old little boys.
That were doing it.
Yes.
Yeah.
So he got a boy blowjob.
Multiple. Like
multiple
yeah.
boy slave blowjob.
Oh
Yeah.
my
And these kids are like, we'll go to
God.
America, everything will be different. And then you're under the table sucking anonymous dick.
Oh, that's the worst.
That is the worst thing ever.
Not Vietnamese girls, but Vietnamese boys. That's so crazy.
Do you ever think about that? Like some people's,
So sad.
like that fantasy for a lot of people of like getting to America, and they're like, that's the awesome place. And for that being like, how many people something like that is their reality?
For most people.
Like
I
where
mean,
it becomes the
you-
worst thing ever.
well, I mean, that is the worst.
You
But
know.
here, I mean, there's a lot of, people from Mexico and stuff who have like pretty rough jobs.
Oh,
I remember
yeah.
this is such a bummer. Is like, I would take cab. I always talk to like cab drivers, and most of them are like, oh, I had a PhD in chemistry.
Yeah, no, that's
You take a hit because so that the next generation can be okay.
Yeah, I was an engineer. That's
Yeah,
my.
oh my God.
I'm an engineer, and you're like, oh really? And they're like, yeah, I used to do like stuff with our space program and fucking whatever. And you're like,
Yeah, but I mean, but it's their space program.
right? It's not.
It hasn't really.
It's not real shit. Yeah.
It got stuck in a tree.
Oh shit.
What's this?
Man, I'm glad that we have a chance to do this. It's just a quick dental update. I am completely fixed now. I have all my cavities have been filled. Look at Kumail's eyes, and I'm good to go. I am going to get mouth those dishes like that they fit your.
I just got them.
You did for whitening?
Not for whitening. This is for like my jaw.
Oh, okay. Do you snore?
Yeah.
Is this gonna help that too?
Yeah.
Do you snore like a son of a bitch? Like.
Yeah, Emily's the first. Like I've had every.
Wait, so his jaw. Can we give another?
I can pop my jaw. You want to see it?
Oh what?
Yeah.
The fuck.
If you could see it, I don't know if you can see it properly, but it's like.
Oh. Okay,
see
we got
it?
it. Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's enough.
That's good.
fine.
I was like 14 and I yawned once and my jaw got stuck open slightly more than you can imagine how far you can open your mouth and then
Right.
slightly more than that.
Oh fuck.
And it was just like totally stuck, like super open. And I was just like screaming. I was like hitting my chin to like get it in place. And I smacked and got it in place. But since that day, I can pop my jaw.
Holy shit!
Are you scared that it's ever gonna go over that and do it again?
It was so bad. Like I immediately, like in 5 seconds, I
There
was
was.
crying.
Oh my god! There was that video. Have you seen that video?
No.
They just had that girl. The girl I think that happened to. She went to yawn and they had her featured. It was on. It's like a British girl. I think on a show, like a medical show, and she showed up and they actually put like what are they, like tongue depressors together, something like that, and they stacked them, and they had her put it in her mouth just beyond what it already was, and that
Why?
made it. I think that made like the muscle eventually like
Oh
relax
my
or something.
God.
It was crazy. That fucking happened to you,
Wow.
Yeah, I was stuck.
but
open.
you jacked
I
it back
just
into
was.
place.
I was like, start in 3 seconds. I was crying, like tears down my face.
Oh my god!
It's like the worst
You're
feeling.
14 years old.
Yeah, I was somewhere around.
Were you
there.
alone?
Yeah, I was alone. I was
Wow.
alone in my house, and I remember
That is
just like hitting
scary.
my. And then since then, I can pop my jaw. So you have a lot of dental. Did you have a lot of dental problems?
We've had a lot of dental things happening lately. My wife and I.
Really?
Yeah, dentistry.
That's funny
has
because
been a fucking. It's been
I hadn't been to the dentist in like 15 years.
15 years.
Yeah, I remember my last time with the dentist was I got a Star Wars toothbrush,
Wow.
and I remember being excited about it.
Wait a minute. Do you have like?
So I went
Yeah.
like 6 months ago. I was like, I gotta go. And I went there and she looked and she was like, it was like, I knew it was going to be bad. This is a bit I do about this whole dental thing.
Yeah.
But I knew it was going to be bad because she was like, do you have any symptoms, and I said if I eat ice cream on the right side of my mouth, my spine hurts. Which is actually, if I did, it would be like a shock. Like I could feel it in my toes. That's how bad it was.
Fuck.
So I went, and she was there, and she was like, okay, this is going to be a long thing. We have to do surgery. There's one tooth we have to get out like right now. She's like, we have to do it right now. And I was like, no. I freaked out. I ran home.
Really?
I got home, and Emily was like laughing, and I was like, don't laugh, this is serious. And I told her, and Emily was like, you have to go back. So I called the doctor that day, and I was like, I'm sorry, can I come back? And I went back, and she like got one out. It took like 2 hours. She had to cut the tooth into 5 pieces.
What?
And she's fucking showing them to me. I'm like, don't show me. Show me when it's the last thing that I need. Then show me like, oh, look at this piece. She shows me the first time, like it's 5 different pieces. She had to like cut it with like one of those things. I could feel like just like shit hitting my face.
That's teeth. The smell too is
and the
gross.
whole time like 17 Again is playing. You know that movie with Zac Efron?
Right.
So he's like making threes while I'm a grown man. Fucking
So
it
how
was
many-
like 6 months of surgeries. Like
Really?
Did you have to
every
get
week.
an implant, or did you get a bridge, or?
No,
root canals?
I did 1 root canal, and there's still work that needs
How
to be
many
done.
cavities?
It was like every single tooth that can have a cavity had a cavity.
Really?
So just the front ones didn't. Every other single one did. I had all 4 of my wisdom teeth.
Pulled?
There's 3 pulled. The one is going to be another one that's going to be 5 pieces. So we're waiting.
Wait, what's the 5-piece thing?
What happens is, so you have your tooth, like that. This had running roots, so that means this tooth's roots go under the other tooth. But this tooth is healthier.
Whoa.
So it's like roots going under. So she had to like cut it to get like all the.
Brian, drop it again. Can you drop it?
All right, hold on.
I just.
That's crazy.
That is like the best dental update we've ever had. That beats the combination. Don't you think?
Yeah,
That's
that beats
incredible,
what I had
man.
to say.
It was rough.
I'm to the point now where I'm just thinking about whitening. That's all I want to do.
Yeah, now I want to do whitening, but I got to get a crown on one tooth.
You had serious dental shit, man. You're gonna
Yeah.
have to be a regular on the show.
Yeah, we need an update.
I was going every single week.
Are you,
for like 5 months?
Whoa!
Every single week.
Are you a flosser?
I am now. Now I'm like super.
Super, right?
I floss every day. I use Listerine.
This shit got me into flossing big time.
Big time.
Yeah, I mean, I really dig it. I love the way it feels. I can't believe sometimes as I'm flossing, I'll really pause and I'll be like, the fact that I didn't do this
for like 100 years
for every year before is really disturbing.
And I remember I came home and I didn't want to do it, and I read, because I go to this burger place and they have this
a booger place.
Burger, butt
Like
boogers.
butt boogers?
Yeah, butt boogers. No, like a burger place, and
Yeah.
they have buffalo, and they have a thing about why buffalo is healthy, and it says buffalo it's the only mammal that doesn't get cancer. Now you think you've probably eaten so much cancer, like some of these fucking they've had cancer. They grind it up. You've eaten cancer.
Yeah.
It's the only one that doesn't get cancer, and it said Native Americans, that's the only meat they ate, and they would have lived to be over 100
Jesus.
if they had adequate dental care. So most of these guys were dying from like dental infections and shit, because they can like get in your bloodstream.
Yeah.
So
Did you
that's when I
know-
was like, I gotta go.
My dentist was telling me that they did a study in Africa of like these really remote African tribes, and you think you forget about it sometimes, like there's no dental or medical care whatsoever.
Oh yeah.
Right? And so he's like, so you'd think like these would be people with like just like everybody has 3 teeth and they're all like and just like holes. He's like, all have all their teeth perfectly white,
Why?
perfectly healthy, and like they've never brushed. They never like they've and it's like, why? They only eat protein. And protein is basically like, if you're eating protein, our diets are just a mix of so many other things, but the big thing that hurts our teeth a lot are carbohydrates.
Sugar, yeah.
Yeah, carbs turn into sugar. So he's like, these people have basically a 0 carb diet, and carbs are something that could really damage your teeth. This is turning into one of the really impressive dental segments.
Jeez, it was a nightmare, and I hated going. And I actually, the first time when I went back, she put me down and she started doing the thing, and I started freaking out. And she gave me a cold compress to calm me down. Like
Really?
that's how she's like, you need to calm down. She gave me a cold compress, which is not her job.
Yeah.
And she's Armenian, and I'm so glad because they were talking to each other, and I'm so glad I couldn't understand what they were saying. Like,
Yeah.
pass me the hook or whatever. You know, I
Yeah.
don't want to hear that shit.
They didn't offer you nitrous?
They didn't offer me. No, not at
yeah,
all.
that's fun.
I mean, they gave me, and I kept asking for more Novocaine or
Yeah.
whatever that is over and over. I was like, Novocaine.
That was one of my like the favorite things. Like actually, this was a good memory. Was when I got my wisdom teeth
Yeah.
pulled out. They fucked me up so perfectly.
Yeah.
Because what you do is you take this is how they did it back then at least. I was a senior in high school or something like that.
Yeah.
Take a Valium tonight. They give you the Valium. Take that before you go to bed.
Okay.
When you wake up, the appointment's in the morning. When you wake up in the morning, take
Fuck
a
a
Valium.
really hot girl.
Yeah, right. You take a morning Valium. So then, as soon as you wake up, you take a Valium. You get there, they put the mask on.
Yeah.
Literally, I just go, when are we gonna? The next thing I say is, when are we gonna start? And they go, you're done. And
Yes.
I was like,
You want a
oh
fucking
no
high
way.
five.
And then they give you just pain pills, like a bottle of pain pills. And it was just like,
That's how.
and I just milked that shit for days, you know. It was
That's
just like,
amazing.
it was incredible. It was really
yeah, this
amazing.
was I hadn't gotten my wisdom teeth out. I mean, that's crazy.
Yeah.
So I
Oh,
got
yeah,
them
that is
all
crazy.
out.
We have to get you out of here. I'm sorry I've kept you so long. I can't believe I didn't even mention throughout the whole time that Kumail also has definitely one of the best shows, if not the best show in Los Angeles for stand-up, Meltdown at Meltdown Comics on Sunset.
Yeah, every Wednesday at 8:30.
It is an amazing. If you love seeing live stand-up and amazing stand-ups, I've been fortunate. I've done the show before, but you can see just great comics, and then just like superstar comics pop in.
Yeah, like Daniel Tosh, Dimitri Martin. Like we've had. It was awesome
Dana
to have Dana
Gould and-
Gould on because
Sarah's come by, right? Or-
yeah.
It was just
I
great.
mean, we've been really lucky.
Yeah, it's always great.
And we'll have you back. We're booked through July, but we'll have you back in August.
Awesome. Thank you, mommies. It was a lot of fun.
Thank you for having me.
Great
Thank
meeting
you,
you, man.
mommies.
You're welcome, mommy. So you have to say bye, mommy.
Bye, mommy. Bye, mommy.
Bye, mommy.
Bye, mommy.